as you guys all know, right, Daivangasai happened last weekend. But there's still more content to make for it because there's like way more cool stuff to talk about. So one thing that they released on the Daivangasai weekend was Fez Colle and Premium Collection, the new stuff. And you could play it in one of their side tournaments, at least the Premium Collection stuff, which is what we're going to talk about today. So if you don't know, there is the Clan Ace or Clan Leader tournament, where it's kind of like Free Fight, except you have a title and a nice prize that goes along with it. Basically, what you do is you join a tournament, or you join the event, right? You start at grade 0, and you have to win a certain amount of matches to become grade 3. And then once you're at grade 3, you can play a maximum of 9 more times in grade 3. And then at the end of the event, you submit your score, and the person with the highest amount of wins while in grade 3 gets called the clan leader. So you can only play a maximum of 9 times. So ideally, you want to win all 9 times, right? And they just basically pair you up with people not in the same clan as you. So if you're playing Narukami, you cannot play other Narukamis, is how I see it, right? So that means like at the end of the event, by the way, if there's 2 people with the same score, then you both become clan leaders. You share it, so everyone wins, right? But yeah, so it's kind of interesting because you could play the new kind of cards, the new Premium Collection cards, and it's just kind of cool to maybe see what some ideas that came from this event, simply because it's like new and fresh ideas. Just a heads up as well, these are all on the website, the main Japanese website, so it's not like I'm pulling these out of Magic or the Mirror or wherever, right? So you can go check them out there as well if you want, but I'll have them all in this video, right? So let's kind of get started. First off, right, let's start off with the Royal Paladin. This is kind of funny in a way. It just kind of shows what kind of tier Royal Paladin is at. Now, if you look at this deck, there is no new cards in it. There is no new cards. And then the rest of the deck is actually just Messianics, right? It's just Messianic. Yeah, for this dude, 4 MLB, and then like, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's it. Messianic, Lord Blaster, and Premium. Now, this isn't new, right? People have been talking about this kind of meme deck for a while, and I mean, the fact that it won the most out of all the Royal Paladins kind of speaks like the level at Royal Paladins. Now, if you were going to more seriously play Royal Paladin Premium, I would recommend you to play something like a Jewel Knight list that has been topping a few times in America. But that is definitely much more threatening. This one, you will randomly kill people with like a 6 crit like 6 crit MLB Messianic on like a Crystal Luster, and you're like, yeah, I win, right? That will happen sometimes. But yeah, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. So very, very memey deck. Moving on, let's talk about Oracle Think Tank. So we saw an Oracle Think Tank yesterday that won the premium tournament on the day before, on the first day of Daivangasai. This one is just a Battle Sister list with Popo as well. So feels like Japan is really hopping on that Popo train. But then we see they're running a lot of the new cards. We've got 2 of the new G Guardian and then 3 of the new Stride, which is cool, right? The Stride is literally just free stuff. Now, basically what you can do is you can replace all your bad cards in your G-Zone or the filler cards, and then just run like good stuff. So you might want to run like, if you look at the Strides here, right? You got 2 Waka Hirume, that's fine. Then you got your G Guardians, these 5, like 2, 2, 1. That's okay. You can run like you can trade one of these for like a Battle Sister as well, but ideally you have so much top deck, like Amaterasu top decks check. You can also use your grade 3 Amaterasu to leave things on top, so you can know what your like know for like the high roll plus, right? It's not really a high roll, it's an educated guess, right? You can also just basically look through your cards and go, what are the odds of hitting these specific grades off the top? And the answer might surprise you, right? The answer might surprise you. So you can take risks with this card, and then just overall like this is like Stride Susanoo pretty much, right? It's just a really, really good card. You probably, like, with Momo, you never really go into it more than once, and then you're always going to run 4 Ichikishima. That's just, you're not going to cut this. 4 Ichikishima is the bread and butter of the entire deck. But with, at least with the Stride as well, this lets you hit the sub 10 card deck count for Pooper, which is really cool. And then the rest of, like, the Battle Sister engine just really allows you to just push, right? Just deal damage, push early, and win, right? You still run like a lot of crits. Yeah, you run 9 crits. It's slightly above spec if we think of 8 crits as the norm. But apart from that, yeah, just a very solid OTT list. As long as you got the essentials right, Ichikishima, and a G-Guardian. And I think you're pretty much good to go. Right, you're pretty much good to go. Next we have is an Angel Feather list. As you can see, this one is another Mimi deck. So this one is, you look at this a lot. You've got the new G-Guardian. That's cool. That's cool. You got one of the new strides. Like, yeah, cool. But then you look at this like, what is this? There's 5s. Oh no, it's Gize, right? So honestly, I feel like there is still more potential with Angel Feather, not just meme Gize lists. But in a way, if you just don't have the time to really work on a list, this is probably something that you go. You run everything that can damage check. Nice, you have the new Pentagleam Sorceress that can help you top check, as well as the other new grade ones that let you top check cards that let you hit triggers better, and then just go into Gize ASAP. That's pretty much it. That's literally it, right? Another Gize list. But I think we can do better. I think we can have, like, there should be more ideas that can be explored with Angel Feather now that you have a very decent Stride, and a very decent G-Guardian, right? A very decent G-Guardian too. So cool. Next is Shadow Paladin. So this is kind of interesting. This is, again, it's not your average Luard list. This is pretty much just like a V Luard list again, right? And yeah, just V Luards. No new domain or anything like that. Only four stands. But I guess, like, the plus here is that you look at his Stride lineup, and I think that kind of tells you exactly what you need to know. Only runs 1 Morfessa, which is kind of weird. And the way that I see it is the person piloting this deck likely just wants to go face, right? They're not going to play grade 2 game. They're not going to bother trying to get first Stride. They're not going to go out of their way to make a first Stride Morfessa, right? If they get a first Stride Morfessa, that's fine. If they don't, they're just going to play a normal game. They're going to ride up to 3, bash your face, normal Luard style, right? And because they run one of this guy, they can put something to soul, which is really cool, which enables their kind of Luard to just pop off, right? So this basically functions the same as, like, your domain, but because like you can search this out via a Luard, your drag driver, it's fine, right? It's just fine. But then you have to have one of these in hand, because you're running at 7 grade 3s. It might be a bit tough. But yeah, you don't have to go always into first Stride Morfessa and win. You can go into something else and then just kind of play it a bit lamer and then win, right? Like, such as the new kind of Stride unit. Now, he's not running any Drag Abyss. I think Drag Abyss is still good, but just looking at what he's running, maybe he just doesn't have the space for it, because he's trying to fit in 4 Clarets as well. So yeah, you have to try and see where you can try and get some space, and if you want to run 4 of this, you just don't have the space. And you see this 2 new G-Guardians, amazing card, right? Amazing card. Again, no Ezras, so if you're Ezrasless, right, you can give this a go. Right, you can give this a go. Yep. How many perfect guards is he running? Is he only running 3 perfect guards? We're not missing any perfect guards, are we? Yeah, he's only running 3. Interesting. Anyway, moving on. We have Gold Paladin. So this is kind of cool. Like, you have Gurgit, right? Gurgit, then you have the Percival. Sick. This looks like a V lineup already. Then you see them running the Eisen as well, because it's just a good card. Eisen. And then, yeah, you got the Wonder Ezels and all that. Very, very cool. But then it's interesting that they opted to run 3 of the new Stride, because from what a lot of the people have said before, the new Gold Paladin Stride sucks, for lack of a better word. But this guy decided to run 3, right? 3. I mean, she does look very, very good. The G-Guard, though, is good. It's just excellent. But then, again, you have the ultimate win con, so good, they're going for the ultimate win con. I can approve that. Whenever I see that, and whenever I see like over trigger in the gold paladin, I just feel very sad. But here, good job. All right. But we also have another gold paladin, and here you get to see no Ultima. But then what do you see? You see, well, there's no new cards here. You're running buff Gurgit, but then what is Agravain? Is this Agravain? Because it is. It is Agravain. Agravain Premium. All right. So this one is okay. This is kind of funny, right? You just, because you can run everything in Premium, you try to find the most optimal way to soul charge as much as possible. And then, hey, you know, use Agravain's skill, and your opponent is just screwed, right? Your opponent is absolutely screwed. No more funny business. Yeah, no funny business, you know. I think, and then the cool thing is, like, you can really push early game as well, right? You can just throw down your hand, throw down a puzzle, boom, 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 and then just try and kill your opponent like that too. So I think that's pretty cool. Next we have is Genesis. So this is just Astral Poet, right? No, you look at here, no G-Guards. No G-Guards. Again, no new cards as well, right? No new cards as well. But they are running Heal Guardians. So because you're still running Heal Guardians, I think you should still at least run some G-Guards, right? It's not like all the G-Guards suck, right? Some of them are still pretty good for Genesis. But yeah, this is just your straight up Astral Poet list. And now you just take into you just go into Marduk as like a cool play to do, right? And you still run some stands because you can technically still stand things. They just don't get drive checks, so your Valkyrian can like kind of stand itself and then get another attack, and then, you know, get another attack. So it's not the end of the world. So yeah, Astral Poet should run Heal Guardians though. You really should run some Heal Guardians. I mean, G Guardians, not you are running Heal Guardians. You should run some G Guardians, green cards basically, right? Some green cards. Then here we have a Kagura list. This is an interesting Kagura list. I think a lot of people have been talking about the Nazara lists. Unfortunately, this is rather hard for us to run in English simply because we don't have the 4 Dragonic Overlord rebirths that are triggers, so we don't get the max value. I'm sure some of us have seen some of the meme lists that have been popping up with this, but unfortunately, our ones aren't as degenerate, right? Because we're missing 4 of these. Maybe in the future there were at least more grade 3 crits. Yeah, but the idea of this is just to turbo Eugene, get 3 cards into 3 grade 3s to soul as much as possible, and then just Nazal them, and they have no hand. They can't do anything. They lose the game. Yes, that's it. Right, that's just it. All right, and then also taking like one of the order just for like retires and draws, which Kagura kind of lacks. Yeah, that's cool. So next up we have is Nubatama. This one is a Nubatama build, just running Magatsu Storm and Reverse. But basically, I think with just Nubatama, as long as you've got the Mizukazes, everything kind of works. Just multi-attacks plus the Mizukage is pretty scary already. And if you just look at the rest of the deck, it's just more of the Magatsu kind of core and just good stuff. But then the one thing in the G zone that's kind of interesting is that it's only running 2 Rines. Normally when you think of Nubatama, it's like 4 Rine. But he only went with 2 and was able to fit in 2 Mugen Lords as well, just for like the extra multi-attacks, I guess. But yes, anything that multi-attacks with the Mizukage is excellent, right? It feels great. And they're running 2 of the new G-Guard, because I personally think the G-Guard is really good for Nubatama. Able to get fat, and then able to draw a card when your opponent doesn't have that many cards in their hand. So your G-Guard doesn't get fat, but it replaces itself, so it just makes up for it. And then just like one of the new Stride as well. But yeah, that's kind of interesting. But then if you look at the next list here, the next person is also running Nubatama. Still again 1-2 of the new cards. But also running 4 Rines. So you're like, yeah, 4 Rines, no Mugen Lord, right? So that's how you can fit it in. Interestingly enough, he's not running Magatsu Storm Reverse, it seems, which is weird because it just feels like a nice fit. Normally, a lot of old Nubatama decks back then just ran the Magatsu Storm as just kind of a nice ride up, and you feel safe because Magatsu Storm has a built-in kind of Null Guard skill while giving one of the Protect marks. So you're double safe, right? You're double safe. And then just going into the Magatsu Storm like reverse it just feels like a natural kind of build. And then again, he's got the 3 Mizukazes, right? So the same idea of like, you know, multi-attacks with Mizukage is scary. right? It's scary. So I don't, maybe there's like an error of this list, or he just doesn't have. I don't know. It just feels like a bit weird. It just feels a bit weird, but otherwise it's just kind of the same. It's Nubatama, right? It's Nubatama at the moment. But then the next thing we have is Tachikaze. So Tachikaze, the core of the deck is pretty much similar right now. I'm surprised he wasn't running like Spider Driver. Instead, they're running the Blazer, right? The Blazer. But yeah, if you look at it, it's just got the blue and the red, or the pink, whatever you want to call it. Kind of Raptors. Just kind of get three stuff out. Interesting enough, he's running 4 of the baby Tyrannos, and in combos with Tanya as well, just to call them out again. And then just like the rest of it is just like, I want to run Speed Back Cano. Okay, we run 4 of that. Mega Rex just to sack things. And yeah, just still pretty good. Your main targets are literally just still like Nibiru's. Nibiru's is still stacked. Still a great card. But this person's running 4 Devastates, right? Which is weird. But I guess like if we think about it, like Japan is kind of a Chaos meta, or a Link Joker meta at least. So I guess like 4 Devastates is the correct call. And then you got the one of the new mini handgun dinosaur, and then the new G-Guard as well, right? So overall, still the core is pretty good, but I think you can kind of just change things to what you like. I feel like just running the Blazer, it's not bad. It's like nice extra cards in hand. It's not like the Spino Drive will be like better, right? I feel like it. But yeah, cool. Next we have is Murakumo, right? Murakumo. So we've got Shiruki. Shiruki is pretty cool, right? You know, it's got a nice core, like the V support for it has been really, really good. We see, I think it topped some events in Europe as well. So it's doing okay. Adding in some Esperitas for some multi-attack, but just overall, like the Murakumo support has been pretty decent. The G-Guard's not bad, and also the Stride is also okay. Just able to set up for your big turn and just like combo from there, minus your opponent to Oblivion, and then just destroy them, right? So pretty nice, pretty cool, right? I dig. Next we have is Narukami. So Narukami is actually insane in Premium. I know a lot of people have been saying, why is Narukami so good in Premium? Why is Stunverse so good in Premium? I can't believe I was able to buy Stunverses for so cheap. Even though they were cheap until like last year or something like that, when they just kind of spiked in price. We got the new Narukami Stride is really good, right? Normally you can play around Stunverse, but then you walk into the other Stride, the new Stride, and just feel bad. But this person's actually running Dungaree, which is cool. I think it's really cool. In Premium Dungaree, like the problems with Dungaree before, right, is like it feels scary to have to always satisfy its condition every turn, right, to get multiple cards in the bind zone. But thankfully in Premium, we've got more tools to bind things, we've got more ways to search things, we've got cool ways to draw things, and then we've got a nice G-Guard that just kind of bind things like literally nearly for free, right? Nearly, it just does it. Like the old Noble G, it's just that easy, right? It's just that easy. So you sit on a 17k base. Your opponent feels bad when they try to run into you, they try to attack you. You go into Stunverse, you're like, yeah, like Stunverse, wipe your field, draw cards, discard cards, yeah. Go back down to Dungaree. Your Dungaree's still hitting with like crit. You know, it's very scary, and it stays annoying. Just stays annoying. Interesting enough, he's not running any of the new G-Guards, which is okay. It's actually okay, right? The old G-Guards were fine, they were great. The new one's like a bit iffy, but also you have to just put in more space for the Noble G-Guard as well. But just the rest of the deck is just built to kind of support the kind of Dungaree. And that's that, right? That's that. Cool stuff. Next we have is Nova Grappler. I don't think there's much to say about Nova Grappler. Even though Nova Grappler got some new stuff, right? I personally do like the Stride. It's still a bit like busted or go home, right? You know, go busted, go big, and then go to GB8. And then your opponent sees that you're playing Nova Grappler, and they'll try their best to like not give you first stride, etc., things like that. But you know, it's fine. You just run the new V stuff that lets you still do multi-attacks anyway. Running the Riser engine as well. Running a 10k bait, just like a 10k Riser here as well. Yeah, just things that like overall just maybe the best cards in slots, maybe not. It's nervous, right? It's nervous. It is what it is. It is what it is, you know. Next we have is Dementia Police. Dementia Police got some really cool support. it's got a new stride. That's okay, but the G Guardian is insane. Actually, really, really insane. This list is actually only running 3 Geomag lists, right? But maybe because of how good your G Guardian is now, you don't need that many defensives. You just want to go offense, right? Though I do think that this Excrete here is not needed. You can probably replace that with something else. Maybe like a 4th Geomag list. Yeah, something like that. But otherwise, the rest of this deck is just the Dimension Police deck. Running the Zeal engine here, it seems. Like Zeal up. But then you're still maxing out the Dailiners, because Dailine is just a good card. We don't see any Daiarms here, though, right? Daiarm, usually the hero of premium. But in a way, the player's just opting for, like, you know, just Laurels to get more crits, things like that. So overall, not bad. I think it's okay. You know, 4 Gil Sludge as well. I think this is Different Fight's favorite card. But yeah, overall, not bad, not bad. Next we have is Link Joker. So Link Joker is pretty cool. I think a lot of people were talking about deleters with the new stride, and here is deleters, right? We got the deleters here. Unfortunately for us, we don't have this Jarwar, I think that's what it's called. That just helps us out quite a lot. But overall, you delete your opponent, you go into either the new stride and you multi-attack with Given, or you go into like a Varu end and multi-attack with Given, or anything else, right? Just anything, as long as your opponent's deleted, just multi-attack with Given, and feel great. And that is what this Link Joker deck is looking like right now. You have things that like replace themselves as well. So yeah, that's it. Cool. Next we have Spike Brothers, right? Spike Brothers. So this is kind of cool. The Spike Brother list is not a GB8 Spike Brothers list. We see them running 3 of the new stride here as well, and then just one of the G Guardian. Even though I think the new G Guardian is really, really good, but yeah, the new stride just allows you to be very, very aggressive on your first stride. And then the rest of the deck is just pretty just working towards that. You still, of course, run one Hellheart A, because if you somehow reach that, it's still just a great finisher, right? But otherwise, you have Rising Nova, just because it gives technically Force 3, right? It gives you a 1 and a 2. 1 plus 2 equals 3. Insane, right? Insane. And then just the rest of this, just a lot of other stuff that just kind of works with that and just does multi-attack and scares your opponent, right? So cool. But let's not forget, hey, someone brought GB8 Spikes. And you can see he just doesn't care about the new cards when you run GB8 Spikes, because there's only one game plan. And that is Heal Guard, G-Guard a lot of times, and then just GB8, right? So this is just a more traditional GB8 Spikes list here. Yeah, cool. Hasn't changed much, if at all, right? None of the new cards are in here. So yeah, that is it. Next we have is Dark Irregulars. So this is kind of a nice evolution of the current Dark Irregulars list. I think a lot of people just are relying on the NLKs right now and going to Baron Magnus. Yeah, that's how it is, right? But hey, you know, you have the new stride that kind of buffs that a bit too. And also running one of the new G Guardian that kind of minus crit around for the turn. So that's not bad. Interesting enough, he's running like a Edge in Darkness for like extra soul charge and also counter charge. And yeah, just 4 Dimension Creeper and an Enigmatic Assassin. He's running 4 draws. So overall, yeah, interesting. Cool. Next is a Pale Moon list. This one is a Nightmare Doll list as well. Also just running 1 and 1 of the new cards. Overall, this Nightmare Doll list, no Rolocks, right? No Rolocks. We see hardly any Rolocks in any of these lists. So it just feels like maybe, you know, no one plays the early game or the grade 2 game in Japan. But it's just much more traditional Nightmare Doll list, and just slapping in some of the new cards, right? That's just it. Nothing too crazy. And then here we have a Grand Blue list. So this Grand Blue list is another one of those lists where I think is just a natural evolution of what Grand Blue is now, right? New card, pretty good. Put 1 of it. The G-Guard, also really good. Puts in 2, right? Because it's one of the, like, your best options for for your first G-Guard, right? But then other than that, you see a lot of this, like, Beatrice, 4 Columbards. There's, like, a lot of debate right now on, like, 2 versus 4 Columbards. So clearly, I think Kurosaki here is on the 4 Columbard train. But then you see a bunch of one-offs, right? A bunch of one-offs. I think I think 4 Tommies is a bit too much though. Right? Might be a bit too much. But yeah, still a lot of tech cards here. Normally, I think for us, we just run less of these. Like, well, it's just only 1 card, I guess, so it's not that bad. But also like three PGs like this. Yeah, okay. I think it's okay. It's like a decent upgrade to what you already have now. So that's just how it goes, right? No Night Rose though. No Night Rose. I think normally you still run like one, right? One Night Rose would be pretty good. The next is Bermuda Triangle. So this one is actually just like a straight up full Highlander list. Even like, well, not full Highlander, but yeah, this is like a Frederica list, right? A Frederica list. And yeah, one of literally everything except this grade 2. Personally, I feel like, I don't know, this grade 2 is very high roll. It does require you to ride it on the Vanguard circle to get its effects. I think I just prefer to play like either like another Katia, right? Something like that, right? It just feels like 2 of this is like not a great card to put a 2 of, you know? And then he has like literally just one of everything, right? One of everything. Yeah. And then next we have is another Bermuda list. And yeah, this one is I don't think I'll need to explain much here. But yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is, guys. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, we have an Aquaforce one. This one is, normally when we think of Aquaforce and Premium, I'm thinking Davs, boys. But this guy thought, Maelstrom. That's what I want. So this one's quite cool. You can look at it's like Maelstrom. Oh, cool, this Maelstrom. Like this, all these attacks. Wait, what is Odysseus doing here? What is this? So the way I see is like this Odysseus is being run just to put more Maelstroms into Soul, and that's it, right? That's it. Because the Stride Maelstrom allows you to just lock your opponent out of calling Guardians, based on how many Maelstroms are in your Soul, right? So it's like a super hard lock. Let me open this up, right? It's actually a super hard lock. So the effect is your opponent, on the 4th attack, your opponent cannot call cards from their hands or the G zone less than the amount of Maelstroms in your Soul. So if you have like 5 Maelstroms in your Soul, right, they cannot call anything to guard, right? If you get like one Maelstrom in Soul, that's already pretty good, right? Because you can't call zeros, but you can still G-Guard, and if you run grade 1 nulls, hey, that is... Actually, Heal Guardians kind of get around that too, because they're like grade 3. Because you're probably going to use them for G-Guard. You're probably not going to use it. But hey, if you get a lot of Maelstroms in your Soul, guess what? Your opponent cannot guard, and Odysseus's do kind of help that, right? So I kind of like it. It's kind of cool, right? It's kind of fun to see. And this is the one Aquaforce that took it all, right? That took it all. So cool, good stuff. Next we have is a Great Nature. So Great Nature, this is just a big belly build, right? Big belly build, and running some cool. I guess like running the Alania is kind of cool because it gives 5k to the king he calls out, so it helps you hit that 30k threshold better. But yeah, apart from that, it's just your good old Great Nature lists. You go Magamata, Aurum. Yeah, it's Aurum. Hopefully get a bunch of stuff on like a Rhino, and it's just the same thing. It's literally the same thing that they've been playing for a very long time before, and it just continues to be the same thing, right? But you got a new good G-Guard, right? You got the new Parrot, so cool. And then lastly, we have a Neonectar, right? A Neonectar. I don't really know what to say about this list. It's Musketeers. It's Cecilia Reverse. I guess the Cecilia Reverse helps you get some sort of multi-attack, which is kind of nice. But apart from that, right, Neos in their current form, like this person is not even running any of the new G-Guard or the new Stride at all. So I'm just like, you're looking at this deck and just going, huh, yeah, okay. What does it do again? Does it do anything special? But it was actually 2 Neonectars on the same. So there's 2 of them on the same number of wins, right? This one was running Asha and running 2 and 2 of the new cards, so 2 Strides and 2 G-Guardians. And yeah, running like just Asha, running like some no stands, right? But yeah, just like the Asha list, make tokens, Again, the question is, that's cool. What does it do again? Does it do anything that's special? It kind of doesn't do anything super special. You have to celebrate, right? You have to celebrate the clan aces, right? The clan leaders. At least the new stride gives you a new form of multi-attack, which is pretty cool, right? And like the old premium collection stride lets you stride up, right, from grids. That's cool. That's cool too. But yeah, that's kind of it. That is all the lists that won clan that became clan leaders, right? So there were a lot. We're actually missing 2 clans. Do you guys know what the 2 clans are? You can pause here to kind of just count what clans we missed and what clans we had. But the clans we're missing is actually Mega Colony, right? We didn't see any Mega Colony, which is surprising, actually quite surprising. We also didn't see Gear Chronicle, right? Which is not as surprising. So that's it. That's it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Again, I just want to say these lists are quite cool. They did do well to some extent. And some of these lists are really nice to see, right? Definitely have a lot of thought in them. Some of them are much more memeier than others. And overall, you should take this more as kind of a nice look into the future environment, maybe where premium is at in Japan, or maybe just take some ideas for yourself to try it at locals once premium collection comes out, or just maybe in the future for other tournaments, right? So yeah, that is it for me. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, bye.